What's going on, boys and girls? This is BBD with BBD TV, the biggest Tennessee Volunteers fan on YouTube. And you're watching the two Irish brothers. Shout out to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Go Vols!
Tyree. Here's Tyree with the lane. Tyree! Whoa! Can he get there? Tyree at the 30, 20, 10, touchdown, Notre Dame! Woo! 98 big ones!
How's it going, everyone? I'm ND Sean 45.
I'm Irish Benjamin 57.
And together, we are the two Irish brothers here on the Two Irish Brothers Show. I'm going to keep this part short. You guys know what to do. Subscribe tabs right there in the bottom right-hand corner, the like or dislike tabs, and everything you need to see about us on social media and the travel packages are in the description box below. So, Ben, I got to be honest with you, man. After the video that I posted last night going on my very raw, angry rant, I almost don't know what to say anymore. It's kind of tough for me to get on here and do a recap, but I guess the only thing I can say is to anybody, which it didn't look like there were many people that were pissed off at me for it. The majority actually agreed with me and were fine with it. Just telling everybody right now, this is a fan channel, not a family channel. All right. We've never promoted this as a family channel or anything like that. And just none of you have virgin ears. So if you have a problem with the cussing, then deal with it. That's all I can say. So Ben, I'm really at a loss of what to say right now. What are your thoughts on last night's fiasco?
It's utterly. I'm trying not to yell because my child is asleep at this point. It is utterly ridiculous what he does week in and week out. I don't get it. I don't freaking get it. How is it that we play North Carolina the way we play them? We play Brigham Young the way we play them. And then everything looks like, okay, we're good to go. We're good to go. We got this thing figured out. Okay, we had our slip up against Marshall. Everybody kind of expected us to lose to Ohio State. We've really been the only team that has kept pace with Ohio State this season so far, as we've seen the last couple of weeks with Ohio State playing decent teams. And then we come into, what were they, 1-4 Stanford?
Yeah.
At home? And the first points we score aren't until, the third quarter?
Yeah, late in the third quarter.
I mean, I know that this team has issues. I get it, and I get it. I get it. But Stanford, not the Stanford that has Toby frickin' Gerhart, not the Stanford that had Andrew Luck, Christian McCaffrey, none of those Stanford teams, Richard Sherman, the 1-4 Stanford team that's getting pushed around by everybody beats us at home. And not only beats us at home, but literally had their way with us. With us! With us. I start really going towards maybe we do need to lower the academic standards. Maybe we do. Because clearly these guys aren't motivated enough. And if it's not that they're not motivated enough, maybe they just aren't that talented. Maybe they're not talented enough. I don't know. And I've seen people say, maybe it is time to get rid of Freeman. Maybe we should fire Freeman. Maybe we should. I don't think I would go that far. But play calling was atrocious yesterday. Was absolutely atrocious. And you know what? We'd started seeing things change with Tommy Rees. We'd seen it. We saw it in North Carolina. We saw it with Brigham Young. And what? We take 2 steps back again after taking 1 step forward. Again. And now you're 500, you're 3-3. NY6 is out the window. We literally had no AP votes at all this week, if you saw that.
I did.
Stanford had the most third down completions of the entire season against us. So to anybody that was saying, oh, yeah, the defense needs to not be getting hammered like they were, because I've seen a couple comments on your video. I'm sorry. Elite defenses don't let that happen. I'm sorry. Clemson's defense, when they were elite, didn't let that happen. Alabama's defense, when they were elite, didn't let it happen. And I get it. This year is the year where it doesn't really seem like there is a clear-cut team that doesn't look vulnerable. Like everybody has looked vulnerable at some point. Alabama, Texas, Ohio State, Michigan, all the top teams. Georgia finally did. I get it. The difference is, and I hate saying it, the difference is Michigan's winning those games. Ohio State's winning those games. Alabama is winning those games.
No, except for yesterday.
And their losses are 3 points, not 10 points, and their losses aren't to a Stanford that's 1-4. Their losses are to an undefeated team.
Big difference, yes.
Big difference.
And in a hostile environment. So yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe we do need to lower the academic standard. Maybe we do. I don't know. I don't get it, because 10-win seasons. Okay, you have a depleted wide receiver core. I get it. Okay, I get it. But why is it that it is just it's like a broken record over and over and over again, where, okay, Notre Dame loses to Stanford. That's 1-4.
Well, how long have we been saying it, Ben? We for not just this year, but in several years prior, there's been plenty of times where we always seem to play down to our opponent.
And that's been a constant thing. It doesn't matter if we're playing number 1 Clemson. It doesn't matter if we're playing number 162 or 22 or however many teams there are now. Well, people are upset about next year of the fact that we're going to play a non-Division I school, which is an FCS school, if you will. I mean, why are you upset? Because clearly we can't beat a team like Stanford. So, I mean, what, are you upset over the fact that we might lose to an FCS team? Like, is that why we're upset? Because, I mean, at this point, that's what it looks like. And the sad thing is, here's the sad thing. The sad thing is I can see this happening, and then Notre Dame beating Clemson, and then Notre Dame beating Southern Cal, and Notre Dame beating Syracuse, when it's like, okay, well, how is it that you're doing these things, but then you're losing to Marshall and Stanford?
I don't know. And honestly, I'm not even going to go that far yet, because to tell you the truth, with the way we played last night, I'm worried about UNLV.
I mean, but I can see it though. That's the thing. Like, I'm not wanting to look forward. But see, this is just how Notre Dame has been. This is how Notre Dame has been all freaking season. Is you lose to the teams you're not supposed to lose to, and then you beat the teams you're not supposed to beat.
It's inconsistency is what it is. And let me make one thing clear. Yeah, I went on a very harsh rant last night, but just so everybody knows, I am not ashamed to be a Notre Dame fan. I said I was ashamed at that point in time. I'm always going to rep the Irish. I'm always going to love the Irish. But the thing is, if I wasn't getting angry, if you weren't getting angry, Ben, then we wouldn't be fans. You know why we get angry?
Of the performance.
Yes.
There's a big difference.
Yes, of the performance, not to be cheering for the team. No. But that's the thing. We get angry. We get angry because we give a damn about this team.
Yes. Yeah.
And the problem is, another problem too, is there's lack of that in this fan base. Like another problem that wasn't even on the field last night. I heard from some people that were there at the stadium that it was quiet, that it was dead, that too many down in front people were there, nobody getting loud.
Yeah.
So it's like that stadium has become a place for the cheese and wine crowd.
Yeah.
So that's a problem too. But I've talked about that too much. But I will say this: I don't think Freeman should be fired. You don't fire.
I don't think so either. I do not think so. No,
because I got a lot of comments on that from last night's video. Oh, Freeman should be fired. Freeman should be fired. Hell, we were hearing that after 2 games. No. Listen, people, you don't fire a head coach and a first-time head coach to boot after 6 games. I guess 7 if you want to include the bowl game, which was really, I don't count because he was only there as head coach for 3 weeks at that time. But you don't fire a coach after 1 season, especially a first-time one. You give him a chance. And I'm just going to say it.
The only thing that would, like, in my opinion, be understandable of firing a head coach in their first year would be like if you lost by 50 points in every game. Then it's like, clearly you're inept. Clearly you have no idea what you're doing. Clearly you're over your head. Yes. But this has been a situation where we have the talent. We've seen it. We've seen this team be able to do things when they want to. And I'm not going to go as far as to say that the kids aren't trying, because that's unfair to them. And that's very unfair to them. The amount of work that those kids put in, the amount of time and energy, that's unfair. But playing up to potential is the issue here. The potential is that this could be a 10-win team.
Yeah.
But when you're sluggish on offense, you have bad play calling.
You're not playing the personnel that you should be. I mean, Audric Estime only had 3 carries.
Yes.
3 carries through the first 2.5 quarters.
Yeah.
And then when he finally put him on, he scores.
Why?
It's like, what are you doing?
Why?
What are you doing, Tommy?
Yeah. Why?
And this is one positive that I can see out of last night. Tobias Merriweather finally got involved. 1 catch, 41 yards, and it was a touchdown. Yeah. So there you go. Why is this kid not being played?
Yeah.
Why? It's like Tommy Reese. Why are you abandoning everything that works to go back to the same bull crap that doesn't work? So I'm not, I guess if you want to say that I'm jumping on the bandwagon, fine, but it's time for him to go. See, here's the thing. Marcus Freeman is in his first year as a head coach. He's trying to figure things out. Tommy, in the 3 years that he's been with Notre Dame as a coach, he hasn't improved. If anything, he's regressed or standing pat. He's not improving.
Well, we haven't even been a top 20 offense.
No.
Those 3 years that he's been. I get that there's going to be. For the most part, most teams always have a team that is better than them. I guess unless you're Alabama. At a lot of things. Number one offense. The number one offense actually typically doesn't even tend to be in Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. The number one offense tends to be like some obscure team in Conference USA that does an air raid that gets like 600 yards a game because they're playing freaking nobodies.
Yeah.
But to say that we're not even in the top 25 or top 20 or whatever, with the talent that we have and with the recruiting base that we're able to do and the resources that Notre Dame has, it's ridiculous. And you see, here's the other part. Here's something else I want to bring up here. Okay. This is why you pay coaches. This is why you pay them. You don't let people like we've let go. And when I say let go, I mean walk. That's why we're not going. Because you're not willing to pay these guys enough to keep them here at this university. It's more than just an X's and O's thing. It is a money thing. And there's no excuse at Notre Dame. If you're Bowling Green or you're UNLV that's coming, I get it. Okay? Get it. But this is Notre Dame.
Yeah, the money is there. They have the
endowment.
money.
They have how much? I mean, so
Yeah.
it's a whole bunch of things. But this game, I mean, let's go through it. Let's actually get through some stats while the going's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're going a little longer in this video, folks.
So Tanner McKee was 26 of 38 in this game. That's pretty good numbers, man. 26 of 38 against Notre Dame, not against Cal State, not against California, Santa Barbara, not Cal Poly, Notre Dame. Okay. Elijah Higgins targeted 7 times, 5 receptions for 81 yards, along a 38. I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I just the numbers stack up against Notre Dame in this one so bad. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, the score doesn't show how pushed around Notre Dame was. I mean, this is like the opposite of North Carolina and Brigham Young. All those scores didn't show how bad we pushed them around.
All I can say is
This one doesn't show how bad Notre Dame was pushed around.
When your offensive line on average outweighs these guys by 55, outweighs Stanford's defensive line by 55 pounds, and you're having trouble running the ball.
Yeah.
Which maybe the numbers don't exactly display that because of a late surge in the game, but that's a problem.
Yeah.
When you average 55 pounds to Stanford's defensive line and they're stopping you, that's a problem. Big problem. This game never should have been close. It never should have been a dogfight. We certainly shouldn't have lost it. This is just a matter of incompetency. That's what it is. It's like these coaches, and I'm talking like Rees and even Al Golden, trying to get cute, trying to do something that they shouldn't be doing. It's like they're playing to their players' weaknesses instead of their strengths. Yeah. Just go with what's working. But also, and you can see that on defense too. Look at our defensive backs. Go back and watch some parts of the game. We're giving up 10 yards to their receivers. We are playing we're playing so soft. It's ridiculous. Press their receivers.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are we stepping away from so many things? I don't understand that. And this might sound silly, but a part of me wonders if these guys aren't doing it on purpose, or they're trying to show up the fans like, hey, I'm here. You're not. I know what I'm doing. You don't. And hell, we even had, I'm not going to say who it was, but there was a former Notre Dame player on Twitter last night that said, hey, maybe these armchair fans or these armchair coaches should try watching films and, instead of criticizing these kids who are playing their hearts out. Yes, there's no doubt these guys are playing their hearts out. I've never questioned that, but you don't need to watch film to see what's working and what doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to put that former player down at all, but you don't need to watch film to see that things aren't working.
No, I mean, you don't. You totally don't. It is a situation where it doesn't take a genius. I mean, if Estime, who has been extremely dominant when giving the opportunity, is expected to be dominant against Stanford, and then you don't give him the ball.
And you know what? I don't blame him for last night's loss. I don't. Okay, people say you're crazy, Sean. He fumbled away the ball as he was breaking away. Well, you know what? Let me say this. At that point in time, it should have been a garbage fumble in garbage time, because we should have been up way before then.
Yeah.
But if he was being played earlier, I guarantee you he's running over everybody on that Stanford line. But due to incompetent play calling, stupid decision making, we lost. And had we not done that earlier in the game, we win this game handily.
Yeah.
And even Drew Pine, I mean, he deserves some blame, absolutely. But I think it was one of those situations where he was set up to fail last night because Reeves was going away from what Drew's strengths are. And I'm not going to say Drew Pine sucks. And anybody else who says Pine sucks, you're out of your mind. Look at what he did the past 2 games. He got it going. He was throwing close to 300 yards, touchdowns galore. And one bad game, you say, oh, he sucks. I mean, I'm sorry. I had a lot of stupid comments on that video last night. I'm angry too. I'm very angry.
Frustrations are at a high. I mean, that's honestly what it is. And I get that. I get people are mad. I'm mad, And I mean, and it's hard. It's hard, like you said in your video. It's hard to go and promote this team when this is what happens. Like, I don't live in Notre Dame territory. I don't. So on good years, I get razzed. On bad years, I'll let your mind do the imagination. So it's rough. It's rough. Will I have this team's back till the end? Yes. Do I love this team? Yes. But it's rough. And this can't happen. This can't happen. I'm sorry. This cannot happen.
Notre Dame football.
A bad Notre Dame team. A bad Notre Dame team should beat this Stanford team. I don't care if it's the 20 whatever it was 07, if it was
for 2016,
whatever. Those teams should beat a 1-4 Stanford team that has just been putrid in almost all aspects of the game at home. If it's in Stanford, on the West Coast, behind enemy lines, I get it. It's different. I get it. But when you're losing at home, and we've lost twice at home this year, okay? And we hadn't lost at home for how long?
Well,
and
since
the teams that we lose to at home, it wasn't like we lost to Clemson at home, okay? It wasn't like we lost to Ohio State at home. It was we lost to Marshall, and we've lost to Stanford at home.
A shit Stanford team. Not one of those glory Stanford teams like you were talking about earlier with the McCaffreys and the Lucks.
It's frustrating. And that's what makes it more frustrating is the fact that it's at home. It's against a crappy team that you're supposed to beat handily.
Yeah.
So that's all I got to say. I got nothing else. I really don't.
I don't either.
I
don't either. All I can say is I know the quote realists, and I still hate those people with the passion. I know they're loving this right now, seeing us lose. Which really they're not true fans to begin with, but they just want us to lose so they can be right. And well, they're getting their wish. Notre Dame's handing it to them on a silver platter. So with that note, everyone, I know we didn't cover a ton of numbers, but you saw it for yourselves. And I guess on that note, I'm ND Sean 45.
I'm Irish Benjamin 57.
And as we always say, God bless, good night. And even though it's tough, go Irish.
Go Irish.